Hey guys, this is Vaughn, and this is my Samhain video. So, this Saturday that's just been, we had our massive Samhain celebration on the island that I live on. And for those of you that don't know, I live in the British Isles, in a little country called Wales. It's right next to England, and I live right at the top on a little island called Anglesey. I'm in the middle of nature, in the middle of mountains and beaches and forests and all sorts. Right now we're going through some major storms, and that actually started on the Samhain celebration. And, anyway, yesterday I was meant to do this video, but my electricity went out because of the storms. And, yeah, I didn't do it. So I'll do it today. So basically I'll just tell you what happened and show you a few pictures and a few things. So, the Samhain celebration started with a small group that we have. There's 5 of us in the group, and we're just a working group together. We help each other grow and help each other learn a bit more. We also run a moot together, and we meet new people a lot. And anyway, through meeting new people, we also met the head of the Anglesey Druidic Order and another lovely lady who is the friend of the head of the Druidic Order. And through them, we learnt about the Samhain celebrations and other holiday festivals that happen through the island. But anyway, the day started with a picnic at a burial chamber, which was on a little island just off the coast of my little island. So yeah, we went up to the burial chamber in our cloaks and robes and all, and we sat down and had a picnic. There was 5 of us there, along with one of the women's daughter, who is also being raised pagan. And we just did a little magic and a little work there, along with having a picnic and stuff, and just general celebration. We got to know the stones, and it was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And being in robes and cloaks is so liberating. It's so free. You just feel yourself and feel really magical. No, it's not needed. It's not needed to wear cloaks and stuff to be magical, but it just makes me personally feel really magical when I wear a cloak and I'm standing on top of a burial chamber, hailing at the winds and the lost souls. Anyway, after that, we drove up to a place here which is called Bad Clodiad Agawres, which translates to Burial Chamber of the Giantess. So it's basically a huge mound which you can go into, and there's a burial chamber inside with standing stones and all sorts inside. All the pagans that come from all across the country had gathered into the burial chamber together to do a little ritual to celebrate the ancestral dead. So not the dead that have just recently passed, like grandmothers and mothers and fathers that have died recently, but more the ancestors of the long past that's far off. And, yeah, we were just standing there and doing all sorts, and we did a few calls and rituals, and it was really nice. I've never worked with that amount of people. There was about 50 of us inside the burial chamber, and it was a bit odd. I prefer working in smaller groups or on my own, which is why I'm solitary and I will never join a coven or anything. I really had to have my protection up because there were a few nasties there, I'll call them, that were draining on our energies. But it was really nice nonetheless. While walking up, there was about a half-mile hike up towards the burial chamber. We had the massive storm coming towards us, and the rain and the winds and just pelting at our face, and we ended up soaking when we reached there, but it was so amazing. And a lot of us joked about that it was the test. The gods were testing us and saying that, oh, if they can handle a storm, then yeah, we'll give them some magic. Because as we walked out, the sunset was behind us and the sky was orange, and there was this massive double rainbow crossing the sky, and it was just amazing. It was so beautiful. After that, we waited an hour and went back to this massive hall that is in the same village as where the burial chamber is. And inside the hall, they had closed off one side of the room for the dead. It was reserved for the dead. Anyway, we started a ritual, started just chanting and talking about why we were doing this. And then they opened the curtains where the dead was reserved for, and behind that curtain was a massive coffin and a few altars. In the coffin there were candles not lit, and a massive candle that was lit. We had to walk up one by one and light one of the tea light candles and put them in the coffin and say a few words towards our loved ones that have died recently, in respect towards our recently dead. So that was the ancestrals first, and then the recently dead. And that's what Samhain's all about, really. Respecting and realising the dead before us, and knowing that they are close to us when the veils are thin. Anyway, we did that ritual, and then there was just a party afterwards, and it was brilliant. By the night I changed into a Halloween-y type outfit with my see-through cloak and all that. But yeah, it was lovely meeting all sorts of pagans from all over Britain, because some had come from all the way from England and South Wales and all sorts, and it was just brilliant. Anyway, the head of the Anglican Druidic Order actually is an author, and he writes books about the Welsh mythologies, because he's a bit sad, he said, that so many witches and druids and all sorts that live where I live take part in things to do with the Greek myths and the Egyptian myths, but don't realise that there are massive myths in our own country that are just as powerful and just as big. And some of the myths include goddesses such as Ceridwen and Rhiannon, so I don't get why they're so downgraded, really. Anyway, this book is basically the story of all those myths, and a little introduction to what they mean and what we should take from them. It's called From the Cauldron Born by Christopher Hughes. I bought it during the event, and he signed it for me in Welsh. Ooh, I don't know if you can see it there. Yep, there we go. He signed the book for me in Welsh and added the druidic symbol, the awen. And yeah, it was just brilliant. So yeah, I'll just put a few of the pictures of the day on the end of this, and enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.